Good morning. Welcome to this ribbon cutting for the Chestnut Street Bikeway. I'm very happy that you all came out. I'm sorry that the weather didn't cooperate, but I think we're going to have a great facility in West Philadelphia, University City, that improves safety for all users. As both a member of the Otis staff, I'm Chris Pahalski. I'm the Director of Policy and Strategic Initiatives at the Office of Transportation and Infrastructure System. I'm also a resident of West Philly, so I'm excited to have a facility that's now safer for me to cross and other people to cross when they're pedestrians. It's going to be safer to drive on, and it's certainly going to be safer for cyclists to use. We've got a few speakers today, and I'd like to, without any more delay, introduce our mayor and thank him for all the support he's given us, and he's going to say a few remarks.
Thank you very much, and good morning. When this administration first took office, we pledged a commitment to making Philadelphia streets safe for everyone, regardless of age, physical ability, or choice of transportation. The Office of Complete Streets and the Vision Zero team are leading the charge to make sure Philadelphians are safe on our city streets. Each year, there are around 100 traffic-related deaths in Philadelphia, including drivers, passengers, and people walking and biking. Chestnut Street in West Philadelphia is a stretch with a mix of residents, educational and health destinations, and retail businesses. There are more than 6,000 people who walk here every day to reach the universities, jobs, and transit. But the crash rate on Chestnut Street was 3 times the city average in 2015. This roadway needed a fix. We are excited to introduce the first of this type of project in the city, and we'll be back in the coming years with more corridors citywide. I believe this is a major step towards improving safety for Philadelphia's most vulnerable roadway users. This effort includes the installation of protected bike lanes to provide safe and comfortable routes for Philadelphians of all ages and abilities. I want to thank Mike Carroll and his team, as well as the Bicycle Coalition of Greater Philadelphia, for helping to make this project happen. And I particularly want to thank Councilwoman Janie Blackwell, who I believe is on her way, who always has the needs of this community at the forefront. I know the Councilwoman and her staff work closely with the Otis team on how to do this in a way that works for everyone, and as soon as she gets here, we'll allow her to come up and say a few words. I think it's interesting that we're doing this event in the International House because so many countries worldwide have understood and implemented safe biking, and bicycle use in Europe and other places in South America is commonplace and safe. And we're hoping that this goes out as a sign, a signal for where we're going in the years to come. Sometimes it took a little longer than people would like, but there was a lot of community discussion and making people understand how important it is. And as I said before, when I first rode in a street that had just a bike lane, not a protected bike lane, I was annoyed and angry, as all the other drivers were, until I began to understand that this is what our residents want. This is what many of the people who move to the city want, the people who have increased our population want. We need to accommodate them, or the word will go out that this is not a friendly city for change, and for not only change, but just sharing open space and public space together. And I think that we get that message across, we'll continue to increase our population and bring in folks who appreciate that attitude. So I want to thank everyone involved, and as soon as Councilwoman Blackwell gets here, we'll bring her up. So thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you, Mayor, for your commitment to both safety and for equity in our transportation system. Next, I'd like to introduce Mike DeBardinis. He's the Managing Director for the City of Philadelphia.
Good morning, everyone, and it's indeed a pleasure to be here with all of you. Otis reports up into the Managing Director's office, and under the leadership of Mike Carroll, they've really taking this safe and accessible transportation idea by the horns and are ready to drive it forward across the city in areas where there is particular safety questions and accessibility to transportation options. And this particular Chestnut Street project is a good example of where we're heading. Big cities across the country are the competitive ones, the ones that see the future, are dealing with how we move people around safely, how do we move people around effectively and economically, but also how do we build equity in those programs. And this work on Chestnut Street is the model that we want to follow, carrying forward these ideas of high quality and effective transportation, how we move our citizens and goods around, doing it safely and doing it with equity. And this project, I think, captures all of that and makes us all very proud in the Managing Director's office, and really happy to have Mike and his team doing this kind of work for all the citizens of the city. So as the mayor said, I'll say a few things, but I want to outline what this work will do between 45th and 34th Streets along Chestnut. The project introduces shorter pedestrian crossings with painted pedestrian refuge, lane reduction for cars, which will calm traffic and reduce vehicle speed and weaving. This project also adds to a new important link to the city's bicycle network and is the city's first one-way protected bike lane. We know that the streets designed for people make Philadelphia neighborhoods more livable and healthier for all residents. It's important to provide spaces for Philadelphians to walk and bicycle and to encourage healthy lifestyles and a livable city. We want a few people to thank. The Chestnut Street Transportation Project is a partnership between many city agencies with Councilwoman Janie Blackwell, the University of Pennsylvania's Public Safety Committee, and the project was funded by the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Multimodal Transportation Fund, which supports projects all over the state aimed at improving transportation for all users. So, as you can see, this kind of work takes a collaborative effort. It just can't be led exclusively by the city. We need partners across the city. We need neighborhood folks to work with us to get this work done. We think this is a very auspicious start, and we're really, really happy to have completed this effort. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. As Mike said, there was a lot of people involved, and one of the values that we have at Otis is that people should have, residents of Philadelphia should have a choice in the infrastructure decisions that affect their lives. And we had a lot of community involvement. And I'd like to next introduce Councilwoman Blackwell. I'd like to thank her for her support on this project. We couldn't have done it without her, and I'd like to welcome her up here for a few remarks.
Thank you. Good morning. Let me first thank God for this day, the privilege of being with all of you. And we're always happy for new projects. I will say now that Streets Department and Mr. Mayor, our Managing Director, that we're getting so many complaints now. And I don't know that the Bicycle Coalition realizes that, but I'm getting calls. I'm getting people who are writing me, sending me emails. So I'm going to ask if we can't make this, do this on a trial basis, which we are. It's technically a trial basis, isn't it? Is it? So, because, I mean, I've tried to tell the Streets Department this, and I'd like to make it a trial basis for 3 months to see how it works. I have people, council people, people in the area. As recently as yesterday, a lady on Sansom Street, 47th and Sansom, and we want to be fair. My first obligation is, of course, to the people who put me here. And as much as I love my city and I love my government, and I always support the mayor, we have to make sure that those in this neighborhood, this area, and people who elect me are satisfied. So we're happy to be here to support this project, and we want the Streets Department to work with us in the next 3 months to certainly make sure that people are satisfied that we're doing the right thing, and we can give another report, Commissioner and Deputy. Is that okay with you all? All right. Thank you all. God bless everybody. Thanks.
I'd like to next bring up Maurice Jones. Maurice Jones is one of the neighbors in this neighborhood, and he's also been a strong supporter of them. So I'd like to bring him up and invite him to give us his perspective on what this facility means for this neighborhood.
It's an exciting time in West Philadelphia, in the city as a whole. We have been listed as a World Heritage City, and as part of that, you need infrastructure that is going to support that type of designation. I've been 8 years operating in this area. I'm the president of the Garden Court Community Association, and also have been past president of the Home and School Association for Henry C. Lee. In that capacity, safety has been very important to me. For 5 years, consecutive years, we've had a bike or walk to school event where we had upwards of 300 people come out to bike and to walk to school. And always in that conversation has been Chestnut Street and how dangerous it is and how many people avoid that. And Janie Blackwell, Councilwoman Blackwell, has known my son since he was a small child and involved in that. Now he's going to high school and he's taller than me. His concerns about it and his praise for riding that bike lane just tells me how important this is and how important this is to the residents. I know there's some concerns and some angst in the neighborhood concerning it, but as you grow in the city, it's important to understand that change sometimes can be contentious, but change can be good for the city. And it's important that as a World Heritage City that we change from the old ways into new ways of transportation and infrastructure development so that we can be better for it. So thank you for coming out and supporting us. Thank you for supporting us over the years, Councilwoman Blackwell. And I look forward to the future of this.
So that's our program for today. Unfortunately, we wanted to have a ribbon cutting, but the weather is just not cooperating with us today. So that's the end of our program. Thank you for coming. Please, either today when it's raining or when the weather improves, enjoy this great facility we built, or just have some peace of mind as when you cross Chestnut Street, it's going to be that much safer. Thanks for coming.